President Muhammadu Buhari engages APC stakeholders, says sustaining the party's victory in 2023 is non-negotiable. The just concluded 4th Africa Cycling Championship fallout, projections and more with the President Cycling Federation. This and more on Panorama. I am Nolin Ebel Ame. Welcome. President Muhammadu Buhari says returning the governing All Progressives Congress to power in the 2023 elections is a critical pathway towards sustaining the nation's upward trajectory in socio-economic growth. The president stated this while receiving a high-powered delegation from Nasarawa State on a thank-you visit. State House correspondent Adamu Sambo has the details.
Led by Governor Abdullahi Sule, the Nasarawa delegation comprising royal fathers, community and political leaders, irrespective of party affiliation, is here to show appreciation to the president for the numerous projects executed in the state, as well as approving the takeover of the Lafia Airport by the federal government.
By this approval, Your Excellency, we can now see our airport being properly utilized, not only as the cargo airport that was originally meant for, but as a commercial and, more importantly, a security airport. This will create enormous economic activities, employment opportunities, and more importantly, more security for our state and our region. Most heartwarming is the approval of the refund of all the expenses incurred in the construction of the airport by the Nasarawa state government.
60% of the refund, he said, will be utilized in the completion of the Lafia Kefi Road and the balance in promoting youth agricultural activities, equipping 3 science and technical schools, 2 new general hospitals, as well as the construction of modern markets in Nasarawa, Wamba, Toto and Awe towns.
I wish to reiterate the assurances of the goodwill, support and loyalty of the good people of Nasarawa state to your administration, even as you prepare to round up your tenure. We certainly pray that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will continue to grant Your Excellency good health, divine guidance, and enduring capacity to continue to deliver service.
President Muhammadu Buhari, who described Nasarawa state as very dear to his heart, expressed the conviction that the people will always stand to be counted in the onerous task of entrenching democracy and pushing forward the frontiers of good governance in the country.
The proximity of Nasarawa state to the FCT naturally makes the state a partner in infrastructure and development. We therefore need more collaboration to enhance this proximity with other contiguous states to achieve more integrated development. I am personally committed to the joint efforts by the state and the federal government to facilitate easy transportation by road, railways, and airports, and as far as no nation can be said to be developed without these components of infrastructure.
To reassure Nigerians and indeed the international community of his administration's commitment and personal desire to bequeath an irreversible political process that will remain democratic and acceptable to the people.
The off-season elections in Anambra, Ekiti, and Osun states confirm the administration's resoluteness on this matter. My desire for our nation is that the 2023 elections should clearly mark the commencement of the institutional strength of our electoral body in conducting acceptable, credible, and violence-free elections. The new Electoral Act is an attestation of the fulfillment of our determination and commitment to the tenets of the rule of law.
President Buhari, however, stressed the need for continuity to enable the governing APC consolidate on its achievements in the last 7 years. This, he said, is not only important for Nigeria alone, but also the West African sub-region. From the State House, Adamu Sambo, NTA News.
Meanwhile, leadership and other critical stakeholders of the All Progressives Congress have vowed to work assiduously and tenaciously towards ensuring that the governing party retains power in 2023. This, they say, is to ensure that the worthy legacies of Buhari presidency in critical sectors of the nation's economy are sustained for a prosperous future. State House correspondent Adamu Sambo again reports that the APC chieftains made their intention known at an audience with President Muhammadu Buhari.
The chieftains of the governing APC, comprising amongst others members of the National Working Committee, vice presidential candidate, governors, as well as some governorship candidates, were led to the State House by the national chairman of the party, Senator Abdullahi Adamu. They are here to express formal appreciation to the president for his leadership that guaranteed the desired stability, unity, and formidability of the party ahead of the forthcoming general elections.
We are the father of this party, and there's no better parting gift that we can give to ensure sustainability of our support, of our loyalty, and all that we stand for this far in your life is to ensure that we produce the next president who will succeed you by the grace of God.
Mr. President, you earn and deserve a big congratulation, because without your determination for an equitable, fair-minded process, maybe things will not have been as easy as they seemingly were. We are confident that the candidates, the presidential flag bearer, and the vice presidential candidate are assets for us that will help us in the campaign.
The APC vice presidential candidate, Senator Kashim Shettima, thanked President Buhari for his strength of character, integrity, incorruptibility, and commitment to the Nigeria project, believing that posterity will judge him kindly.
Your Excellency, on behalf of Ashwaji Bola Ahmed Tinubu, I wish to once again reiterate our willingness to serve Nigeria with justice, equity, and fairness. We want to latch on to your achievements. We want to latch on to your brand name for us to cruise on to victory and consolidate the leadership of the All Progressive Congress.
President Muhammadu Buhari thanked his guests for the role they have played in ensuring the successful conduct of the party's national convention and the presidential primary election, which were done in a free and fair manner.
For us all, the cohesion and unity of the party was the first priority, and the ambition was second. I am glad that you also the larger picture rather than narrow, self-serving interests. What matters to me is the unity, security, and prosperity of Nigerians, even beyond my days in office as president, and I am glad that the APC is on course towards that eventuality.
Noting the many virtues outlined of Senator Kashim Shettima, which qualify him for the vice presidency, the president assured Nigerians that he will not disappoint them.
When the presidential running mate was presented to me a couple of days ago, I said I will reserve my comments till I hand over to him and the new president on May 29, 2023 at the Eagle Square. I still maintain that same position. I am glad that the party is resolved to further mobilize more Nigerians, particularly youth, to register and get their permanent voters' cards. It is the way to go.
Amongst the APC chieftains at the meeting was the only female governorship candidate of the party, Senator Aisha Dahiru Binani from Adamawa State, whom the president described as governor in waiting. From the State House, Adamu Sambo, NTA News.
In other news, the airline operators of Nigeria says air passengers, especially consumers of air transport service in the country, should expect major disruptions in scheduled flight operations, including cancellation and unnecessary delays across all airports in the country. In a statement signed by the agency's spokesman, Professor Obiora Okonkwo, the association said the development is due to the foreseen but unintended consequences of aviation fuel scarcity in the country, which operators have been battling hard to manage. The statement therefore appealed to the public to show understanding and bear with airlines as efforts are ongoing to address the development and restore normal flight operations. Let's pause and take some messages. News Panorama continues shortly. And talking sports now, as the dust of the 2022 Africa Cycling Championship track in Abuja settles, Chikunonson Abueze in this special report reviews the steady growth of the sport on the continent.
Athletes from 13 countries converged on the velodrome of the Moshood Abiola National Stadium in Abuja, July 14 to 17, 2022, for the 4th edition of the Africa Cycling Championship track, in which they competed in 11 disciplines, including sprint, team sprint, pursuit, team pursuit, 500 meters time trial, 1 kilometer time trial, and scratch. Others are Omnium, Madison, elimination race, and point race.
The organization is great, and we did well so far. We are thankful for the organization of Nigeria for the great effort that they did.
Right from day one of the tournament, Team South Africa left no one in doubt of their desire to come tops as they began to rake in medals, closely trailed by Egypt, Algeria, and host Nigeria.
We've enjoyed the competition, but we've enjoyed the fact that there's lots of other riders here, and everybody's trying their best and riding their best, and it looks fantastic.
By the 4th day, Team Nigeria, who had hovered between 3rd and 4th on the medal table, eventually ended 4th on the final table with 4 gold, 7 silver and 6 bronze, totaling 17 medals. South Africa won the tournament with 42 medals comprising 20 gold, 13 silver and 9 bronze, trailed by Egypt and Algeria.
We are performing, we could have done much better. We had the opportunity to stay through compared to the last ranking and the last number of medals we won in the last African Championship.
Nigeria's organization of the 4th edition of the championship has been severally commended by stakeholders, even as the athletes look forward to future engagements.
If you compare between 2019 and 2022, great difference. This more number of participants, more riders, more good organization.
The next edition of Africa Cycling Championship track is scheduled to hold in Egypt, March 2023. In Abuja, Chikunonson Abueze, NTA News.
We now join the President Cycling Federation of Nigeria, John Domenico Masari, in our Port Harcourt studio. Sir, you're welcome to Panorama.
Welcome to you. Thank you.
All right. Now, the 4th Africa Cycling Championship has come and gone with memories many say will linger for long. Looking at the medals table, South Africa came first while Nigeria took 4th position with 4 golds, 7 silver and 4 bronze, while Morocco came 5th. Now, what's the next plan for the cyclists?
Let me tell you one thing very important. There have been an increment of medal of Nigeria compared to what was taking the past edition. This is the fourth edition of African Championship track, and the first we got 7 medals in 2019. In 2020 we got 11 medals. In 2021 we got 12 medals, and this year we got 17 medals. So we see that we have an increment, and we can compare even with somebody like South Africa, because South Africa has a very long time, running in this discipline. What Nigeria started just in January 2019, when we were able to get back our velodrome. So if you see, the increment is quite commendable, and even I believe that there is even more prospect ahead. We have not to forget that Nigeria is even in the international, not only continental, in track for female, in the international ranking. In fact, for UCI, that is the world body for cycling, Nigerian female is even third, female junior, third, along with Australia. And even in the female senior, we have 9, 12, and 15 in the world for some specific race.
Looking at issues of funding has always been a problem in sports. How has the Federation been able to fund?
Not different for other federations. This is a very common problem and challenge for all the federation in sport, except maybe a football that is getting better funding, and in part even basketball. All other federations, they have even this really terrible problem. But notwithstanding, we are trying to potential sponsors that eventually they start coming, see even how the performance of our athlete, and even ourselves we are supporting. And at the moment we were able even to, we are not to forget that this is the second, even if the first tournament we organized, it was in 2019, African Cup, that is a lower category of this one. We were able even to organize such type of things, and apart of this, sending our team in the world to compete in different parts. We went even Europe, South America, and many other places, apart even in the continent. So we are trying to endure to make sure that things will be better, and even the sponsor will come to support us.
All right, to conclude this conversation, I want to ask you this. Cycling is a big sports business. How well is Nigeria taking advantage of this?
At the moment, let me tell you, the big sport business, yes, when we are seen in continent where cycling has been seen as even a very, very important, even as a lifestyle. Let me tell you, in Nigeria, Africa larger, they have not the same perception of what the sport is, even if it has a very lot of benefit for the environment, for the health, and even for let's say for many other things that it can ameliorate the life of people. Anyway, people start understanding this here in Africa and in Nigeria as well, and more and more people start coming close and practicing this sport and even this activity, because we have to see when the activity is very important. So I believe there is good perspective ahead, but it needed to even work more and having even more conducive environment to express this type of things, activity.
All right, Gian Domenico Masari, thank you so much for speaking to us on Panorama.
Thank you to you. Anyway, it was a pleasure.
Thank you. Still on sports, let's join Olumide Eguntola for sports update. The National Population Commission is re-strengthening collaboration with traditional rulers as part of strategy to ensure successful conduct of the forthcoming 2023 fully digital census in the country. To this end, the NPC Federal Commissioner in charge of Zamfara State, Muhammad Mutakarini, has interacted with traditional rulers in Shinkafi and Birnin Magaji local governments areas while on an inspection visit of the ongoing nationwide trial census in the areas. Jamilu Ibrahim has more.
The field work for the ongoing trial census by the National Population Commission commenced in 45 enumeration areas across 9 selected local government areas of Zamfara State on 13th July 2022, with house numbering followed by the validation of enumeration area frame. At the enumeration of households commences proper, the NPC Federal Commissioner in charge of Zamfara State, Muhammad Mutakarini, has led a monitoring team to inspect the exercise at Modumawa District and Birnin local government area and the Shinkafi town. In Modumawa District, the NPC Federal Commissioner alongside other officials and the district head monitored the exercise in some of the enumeration areas there. The team also observed the conduct of the trial census at an enumeration area in Shinkafi town. Lini, who was at the palaces of the Emir of Shinkafi and the district head of Modumawa, expressed satisfaction with the conduct of the exercise in the areas and urged the traditional rulers and the local government leaders to continue to enlighten their subjects on the importance of the exercise and the forthcoming actual 2023 fully digital census.
From what the enumerators have done, right from the EAD out to what we are observing now, all the machineries are perfect, and inshallah we are to lead the same style. In 2023 we are going to succeed.
In their separate responses, the Emir of Shinkafi, Sarkin Gabas Alhaji Muhammad Makosha Isa, the district head of Modumawa, Alhaji Aminu Ali Muhammad Asha, and the Birnin Magaji local government sole administrator, Alhaji Kabiru Megoro, assured their unflinching support to the NPC for it to effectively deliver on its mandate. In Gusau, Jamilu Ibrahim, NTA.
And that concludes Panorama. Thank you for watching. Remember to stay with NTA on the fight against rape and rapists. I am Nolin Ebel Ame. Do have a lovely day.